Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the Straightjacket podcast 348, man. We're here, international break settings, you know what I'm saying? Everyone's cooling off right now. We're not cooling off because, man, like most of the team is smacking up. It's smacking up Somalia right now. They're on the attack. Oh, man, it's dangerous, man. Musa, man, what are you saying, man? He's smiling today.
Okay, we're just warming up. You know what it is. We're warming up. Where you used to be. I'm not going to lie to you. Uganda's new to this as well. We're new to this. You know?
Yeah, man. You know what? You guys could qualify for the World Cup, you know, man. Now, that's
the first
crazy.
time, though. That'll be the first time in our history.
MashaAllah, man. That's big, man.
We haven't really ever done it. We're just kind of new to it. And we've only had one player in the Prem. And I remember he was at West Ham.
Who was that?
There was some guy that we had a couple of seasons back. He was at West Ham. They brought him in somewhere from Europe. Okay. I remember they were making noise in the Ugandan community. I was like, quiet, man. He's not even coming off the bench like that.
Yeah. I can see the stadium was packed out, man. Absolutely mad, man. It's going to be party time in Uganda. So, fair play, man.
AFCON. He's got AFCON in Morocco. We should be covering that stuff.
You should be going, man. I ain't going to lie to you, man. I want to step through, man. It's going to be in Morocco, man.
Morocco's light. It's a short journey.
I know one person that's definitely going to be going. It's Aaron.
You should be out there, Noridi. That's local, Morocco. What? 3 hours?
3 hours, yeah. 3-4 hours. To Morocco, man. You know what I'm saying? So, it's going to be big, man. It's a big time, man. It's a big time, man, for Uganda to be reaching it, man. Nuruddin, how are you, man? How are you doing? You okay?
Say that again.
How are you, man? The sun, 1 minute it's raining, 1 minute it's sunny, man. It's bipolar weather out there. What's going on?
Just like the Man United fans, innit? The Twitter, INEOS.
Listen, we're going to have a conversation. Can we not have a conversation about INEOS? Like, can we not? Like, 100%. I'm just here.
I welcome it. It's my favorite topic. It's my favorite subject.
I'm just letting you know, Saeed.
It's INEOS and Glazer. INEOS and Glazer.
But I'm letting you know, Saeed, I'm the chairman of the brigade. I'm with Noridi, so just letting you know, I'm the chairman.
Today. Yeah. Okay, say no more, man. Now we're going to get into it, man. Big up to everyone who's locked in right now. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Big up everyone, man. I know there's so many things happening in the world right now, but the one thing we can come and unite is football, man. So if you're here right now, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to everyone's channels. Musa Reacts, link in description. We also got Nuruddin's channel as well, United Real Therapy. Link in description for that one as well, man. But the title of the video is, go on. Nuruddin, say
I've
something.
been taking a nice break, actually, but I'm going to make a video about Unana after the stream.
Okay.
So the video,
Okay, cool. But yeah, today I thought, you know what, man? It's a good time, man. You know what I mean? No, let's not talk about the manager for once. You know what I mean? Let's leave Ruben Amorim aside. Maybe he might get involved in terms of the managers and whatnot, but let's discuss INEOS and let's see if we can actually speak about them. You know what I mean? I would say, I'm not saying objectively, but fairly. Let's give the good points, the bad points, and then we can look at them overall. But they've been here. How long have they been here now? It's since 2024. When were they fully ratified, Nuri? You might know more than me. The date, was it February they were fully ratified, or was it
February 2024 or something like that? Just after December, innit?
Yeah. I think it was around there. Yeah, fully ratified in terms of their stakeholder in the football club. You look at them now, you look at them when they arrived to now, you're looking at when the people who were there, John Myrtle gone, you know what I mean? Richard Arnold gone. They brought in their key men. Okay, some guys have maybe took a backward step in terms of the guy that was with the cycling team. He's now not, Omar Barada. Dodgy Dave. Dodgy Dave. You got Omar Barada, the CEO, and Jason Wilcox here. Them guys have come in the forefront. Vivel and all of these other guys are underneath it. But in the past, I would say 2 years here, how do we reflect on the job that they've done so far? Because there are some bad things that they've done. But if you look at the squad now, compared to how it was 2 years ago, there are a lot of players who have left the football club. There are new players that have been brought to the football club. You know what I mean? And, is the squad better for it? Is the squad better, worse than it was before? I start with you, Musa, man. How do you look at it in the past 2 years? Obviously, we all wanted Qatar. We all wanted, you know what I mean? They were the guys that we all wanted. But when you look at it, like, how do you reflect on their tenure so far?
You know, inside it's hard because I can only judge it based on a standard that we have in the Premier League. You know what I mean? So I think if I look at the standard that's in the Premier League, and if I look at some of the top operators like Chelsea, Liverpool, who are able to get City as well. City have always done good business. Like, they've sold their players well as well in the past. Is like, when you look at the top operators and how they operate in terms of getting players in and getting players out, and then you look at the teams outside of that, mid-table teams, how they do with getting players in, getting players out. I think most teams have an identity. If they're a selling club, then they sell well. They know that we bring you in for about 2 years. Example, let's give Brighton for an example. Brighton's a club that knows it will go and pick a player out that no one's really trying to gamble on, give him the time to develop himself at the club, playing Premiership football. And any player that's got a Premiership, that's Premiership proven and that's played at that level, clubs are ready to pay a premium for. So they go on and they do business and they get money like that. City, Liverpool, you know, they win stuff. So by default, their players, they gain some of that notoriety that comes with a club that's winning. So it kind of pushes your price up. If you're coming from a team that's won the Champions League, the Premier League in the last 3 to 4 years, your price is going to be up. You're not going to be looked at as someone that was playing for a small club. So I feel like United are stuck in limbo where you've got the buying and selling power of a team that should be winning the league, but you're out there finishing 15th and 8th in your last 2 seasons. And what we got to understand is, finishing 8th and then 15th, if we finish anything outside the top 6 again, that is a madness.
Yeah, it's a failure.
This is what I don't think people don't understand. 3 seasons in a row, Saeed, finishing outside the top 8 is madness.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand how important this season is, because the Eric Ten Hag finish is one thing. When you finish 8th and you're like, okay, cool, we're going to push in again. Then you go in and bring in a manager in a couple games into the season and the flipping guy finishes 15th. So now you're in the 3rd season where you're looking at, hold on, this is no longer a fluke. This is our form. We're just a top 10, like, you know what I mean? We're a mid-table team, because if we finish outside 7th or 8th side, that's no longer, that's form. That becomes form. So going into this season and how important this season is to not repeat a 3rd season, you know, having a crazy finish, I think INEOS should have moved a bit more efficient for how important the season is. I get it's their 1st or 2nd window, but for what it means for the overall picture of the club and what I've seen other teams go in and be able to do, like example, INEOS at all costs should have got a midfielder in, because that's how important it is for this season not to be another season outside the top 6, top 7. And on top of that, you look at the £100 million man Bruno Fernandes and you're talking about getting rid of him. So if you're getting rid of him, it makes sense that you even get in the midfielder this season. So next year he will have a year's experience. He will have that level of, he's been there about in and around the team, rather than you start again next year. So for me, Saeed, I look at INEOS, and if I also score them out of 10 and flipping, I don't know, what's average? If it's a 10
average
score?
around about 6.
6. I'm giving them a 5.
Wow.
I'm giving them a 5. You know why? Because average. Because you know why? Because I'm not going to look at us. I'm going to look at the shopping power that we have in terms of the purchasing power that Man United has and the pool that it has. So then I look at flipping the top 4 sides or the top 5 sides, and we're similar in that ballpark. And if I see what they done, even Spurs just started pulling out signings last minute that come from everywhere. Side.
Yeah.
But he's coming in.
I hear you. But you know what it is? When we speak about this kind of rebuild, by the way, big up to Rants and Banter's community, man. They just joined us. Big up for the raid. Rants every time, man. But when you look at it, they had to sort out the mess from the Glazers. Like, I'm not saying that they weren't part of the mess as well, but you got to remember, like, the Glazers did a lot of mess. They bought a lot of players on high wages. You got to remember, all these players now that are getting rid of, they were all Glazer signings. Sancho, Anthony, all of these guys that were basically have been now left the football club. So they've now got rid of them all. They're on loan, but you see what they're trying to do now. Yeah. Garnacho, Hoyland. All my brothers come and said, yo, you got 2 years now to deliver, or you're going out the door. We now see with Onana, Hoyland, there's proof of that 2 years now being implemented of, yo, if you don't perform, you now have to leave the football club. You could argue in one sense, like, INEOS have done fairly well in terms of getting rid, and this is why I said the rebuild, the players that have now left the football club that a lot of the fans wanted out are now leaving the football club. The players on high wages are going to leave the football club. Okay, Bruno is an example of, yo, we might have effed up, and this is one of their shortcomings, but you could see that they're trying to work a model. You look at the wages right now. There's no player on high wages apart from Bruno. They're the last. I think they're the last people to be given the high wages, and that was Bruno Fernandes. If you look at everyone else, no, Casemiro was from the previous regime. Yeah. He wasn't from the INEOS regime. So when you look at it from that point of view, you ever wanted the wages to be not be incredible and not be a big amount. They've now said, you know what?
Saeed, respectfully,
I'm still landing the point. When you look at players being identified for the team and the squad, there's been a better identification of players recruited for Man United. It's no longer, will you come to the football club based on wages? It's no, will you come to the football club because you believe Man United is your destination? We haven't bought anyone for the sake of just money. You come over to Man United because we'll give you better wages. I think,
but we're not in that position. I say respectfully, I agree with what you're saying in one stance, but respectfully, there's nothing wrong with a player earning 300 grand a week.
There is.
No, let me show you.
You have a right to be earning, giving.
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So that's the difference. There are players out there who can earn the right, like Mo Salah, to earn that type of money because of the performances that they're in. Yes, Man United didn't have a player because we wasn't doing well enough to do that. But what we also have to understand, man, that some of the moves and some of the signings that Man United put on that money were also commercially driven. If you look at the commercial aspect of what these signings actually bring into Man United, because we're shopping and swimming in a totally different pool. People got to understand, when you're going out to Malaysia, Indonesia, Japan, wherever you're going, they need to see a Casemiro wearing a Man United shirt. They need to see a caliber of that player. When these players were turning out, and you're no disrespect to the Rasmus Højlund and Garnacho, whatever, this is why United are always trying to create that new star. You saw what they tried to do with Garnacho and Højlund and Kobe, and they want to create a star within the ranks so that they can still have that level of whatever. So for me, financially, a lot of these things are not on us. Like, I don't want INEOS to put the financial stress of the club onto the fan base and what we're doing. We know that Man United runs well, makes a lot of money, and you've got to make other strategic moves to make that happen. There are other teams, that are making profits or they're doing well in terms of the money that they bring in, and they just move accordingly. The accounts and stuff, Man United is not no club that, like, we're able to sign major sponsorship deals, and we're not doing a City where we own flipping the Emirates or we own this airline and then we're going to put it on our shirt. Some of these deals with Snapdragon and all of that, it's because we're Manchester United and we can kind of command that.
I agree. I agree.
So I
won't give them that credit. Yeah. I won't give them that.
But I don't want to look at, they've got the wages down, so that's a big deal. I'm just saying, do what you're meant to do. It was a bad deal for you.
We can't say that, though. We can't say that, do what you're meant to do, which I hear, yeah. Their owners are meant to do what they're meant to do. But at the same time, though, we were asking for footballing people, guys. And we've now got footballing people who are making football decisions. You can't just say now then, well, this is what you're meant to do, when the football club was not running like this for so long. We were talking about bankers. Nobody knows more.
Remember, this is what I'm saying. So I feel like the footballing decisions come with the type of player that you're bringing into the club and the type of manager you're getting to manage that player. Once again, the type of player that's come in since INEOS have been here, I'm not if I was just to judge it based on the window and the players only, I'll give it a 6 out of 7 because the type of profile most people have wanted. Most people wanted Mbeumo. Most people wanted a Cunha. And most people wanted a new striker in the system. A lot of people wanted the likes of a Mazraoui or a De Ligt. So people are, and you're not going to make all of those type of signings and get them all right. So obviously you've got Ugarte that slipped in there. But the type of player that Zertsky is, a lot of people wanted a talented type of young forward that can kind of, grow with the team and go into the next space that we're trying to go into. But if we're looking at it as an overall package in terms of, again, where they found us, where we are, the biggest red flag for me is the management of the manager. Not being able to sack Erik ten Hag after the FA Cup final and not being able to sack Ruben Amorim after the Europa League final. Those 2 decisions for me are detrimental to our progress, and it's what brings that mark down for me. Because they've done the exact same thing with Amorim that they've failed to do with Erik ten Hag. And if they choose to, you've seen the run-in. We've got Liverpool, City and Chelsea before the next international break. And if we can easily pick up 3 to 4 points out of the next 18, 20 points available to us. And I just feel like we could be in the next international break having a conversation of this manager has to go. And how do you then go on?
But have they created, and obviously I'll bring in Nordin, but have they created an environment where now they're looking at success not being determined by the manager? So, for example, now they're looking at the whole environment. United as a whole was a toxic environment. Now it's easy for us to basically change managers now. Obviously, proof will be in the pudding, but it will now be easy just to change the manager and not everything else be disrupted now.
I'll let Noradin come in on this year, but I would argue that Amorim's made it worse than when Ten Hag was here. That's what my argument would be. He's made it worse. For the next manager, I would say that it was easier to take over with Erik ten Hag after the FA Cup than it's going to be to take over Amorim. This is what I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, first of all, big up people. Big up to everybody. Love and light, everybody. Big up Adewale. We're not seeing you for ages, King. I hope you.
Yeah, big up Adewale, man. We'll get to your super chats in a second. Big up Adewale, man.
Yeah, big up Adewale. Oh, each and every time. Big up all the chat, by the way. Big up all the regulars.
Yeah, big up everyone, man. It's gonna be.
I've just heard Saeed's meeting at the Shisha from Omar Barada briefing. That's all I heard. First of all. So Saeed met with Omar Barada at a Rusham Shisha, and Saeed's coming out here doing what he does best, right? But let's put that aside. Let's take everything that Saeed said one by one, right? So let's take it. So have Manchester United now gone to a model where they have, and I'll go with the last point that you made in terms of, and now we have a director of football who signs the players. We actually have, he's the first team coach. So now, have we gone in line with most football clubs in the world? Well done, Manchester United. If you want to give them a clap, that they have a director of football, and then they have a first team coach. If you want me to give anything to that, I'll start off by saying that my side of the debate, and I'll be as transparent, because you know me, I don't have agendas. My agendas are clear. How can it be an agenda when it's up front and blatant, and I'm there screaming it from every opportunity I get? I'm screaming, I'm telling it. He enabled the Glazers, so I will never look at Jim the Rat Ratcliffe in any other light, unless he buys the whole football club from them and he's solely making the decisions. Then we can judge him accordingly. But what they've done so far, Saeed, oh my God, the rap sheet is there. If you want to look at pros and cons. So a lot of people might say, oh, look who we cleared out. And I can imagine, I was joking about him meeting Barada, by the way. Some of you might.
Come on.
But I can imagine, because the debate that's been going on the socials and everywhere, now that we got rid of Onana. Now, a real football club would have got rid of Onana when Onana kicked them out of the Champions League. When he single-handedly kicked them out of the Champions League. After 6 months, after that season, he would have been given a season and then see you later. He would have been giving his match and all the stuff. Because from then, it was obvious that it's not about this life. And by the way, who was telling everybody and their nan before he even flew to Manchester to resign on a dotted line. After the Champions League final, I was telling everybody, please do not. We've got Lindelof and Maguire. They've got top Pestoni and these guys.
Defensive
Milan play in a way. Inzaghi coaches them in a specific way. Unana, the system got the best out of Unana. And then we bring Onana to a team that can't even hold the ball, treat the ball like hot potatoes. So then we're wondering, why is Onana failing? It's ridiculous. It's there for everybody to see. So if you want to go back player by player, Anthony had trouble time at United. If he could get off, he could get off. And he's proven it. He smashed up real betters, did what he did. Rashford wanted to leave anyway. It became really too toxic for him. Garnacho was out of here anyway. He wanted to leave a long time ago, and that's why he didn't even want to come back to United. Malacia is somebody that they want to take the mick out of, and just put him to the bomb squad. He's the innocent guy that gets caught in a crossfire, innit? In a drive-by. He's the civilian that gets it in a drive-by. Who else is in the bomb squad? So it's Rashford, Garnacho. Oh, Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund is somebody that's been here for 2 years. They've given opportunity too. And actually, that there's somebody that they threw at the deep end, and I don't think it's all his fault. Same thing with Uganda. I don't think it's all his fault because they didn't set up the way to get the best out of him. And so it's somebody they've gone, oh, we're going to use you. You're not going to be in a bomb squad, but we need a new striker anyway. We're getting you out. I don't know. You could say that we needed another striker. Maybe it might have been for him to stay. So that I can give them. He's the only player that wanted to stay. They actually kicked out. If you want to talk about all the players that they picked out, he's the only guy who really wanted to stay that they got rid of. But Casemiro's still here after INEOS draw. They couldn't get him out. Luke Shaw is here, for fuck's sake, people. Luke Shaw is still here. Mason Mount is still here, and then he's got a couple of games and he gets injured. So this repetitiveness is still there. And Harry Maguire is here. And now the remix has been so bad. Like the PR, it's been like upside down, like he's the greatest player in the world. And now Amarin's doing this gimmick where he brings him on in the last bit to get the header. It's embarrassing. That type of football is embarrassment. But to go over what Musa said, factually, Amarin's worse than Ten Hag. Ten Hag took us to 8th. I've never seen Manchester United 8th in all my lifetime. I repeat for the people at the back, I have never seen Manchester United finish 8th. I've seen them finish 6th once, but I've never seen Manchester United finish 8th. I have never even dreamed of Manchester United finishing 15th. Not in my wildest dreams would I ever thought. So when we have a look at it, and when I sum it up, I look at it, I think in the time that they've been here, where have they taken the standards of the football club to? They've made us a mid-team mediocre. They found us a new, where even as far as you go, Saeed, where you're embarrassed to go to the big 6. You're embarrassed at times because you're like, should I even be here, guys? Should I even be here? Because we're no longer competing with those teams. So at the end of the day, history will write it. The PR will be the PR, but I hope history, people like me, keep the score. You know, there's a famous saying, the body keeps the score. When it comes to Glazer INEOS, I keep every score. And I'm always ready, and I welcome that type of debate. When I look at them, I can't even give Jim the Rat Glazer and INEOS anything because they don't own the.
You can't give them any credit, basically.
I can't give them because, Saeed,
why?
They have enabled the Glazers to stay and to stay forever. Because soon as they build that circus tent and they get rid of they get that property around there and all that, they're forever tied.
Their job is to bring football structure, and they've brought that. So is it what we're asking for? They've kind of.
The Glazers are telling me we have football.
I'm asking a question though. Like we've asked
respectfully, side. Their job is to win stuff, win the Premier League, win the Champions. Listen, forget that football structure. If Man United was winning Premier League titles and Champions League, we never would have cried about football structure. We cried about it because of the lack of things happening on the field. But if that recipe of flipping my man Murto and all of that worked, and we actually won a Champions League and a Premier League title, where would we be talking about? We'll be still buying in the players we need to get in. We'll be getting rid of the players who are not good enough, and we'll be winning things on the ground. The fact that it wasn't working, we started talking about this new model that we need that everyone else has got, which a lot of teams have, but not all teams have that. You know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like unless you're actually...
it's unheard of now to have to not have footballing people at a football
No, but
club.
we're dealing with a group of people, Jim the Rat, who's got previous of taking over clubs, making them worse, or not winning anything.
Right.
So United is going to be the first.
United, he was never going to win with Nice, though. So it was unfair to maybe judge him in a Nice team. Where
Think about it. This guy, listen,
always win.
I'm with you, Saeed, but miraculously, this guy was in a European final last year in his first season taking over the club. He actually had a chance to win something. And guess what happened? He didn't. Because the manager they chose halfway through the season had no clue, and they didn't even back him in January. Had they backed Amrin in January with more than Dorgu, maybe they could have been somewhere that he brought in that could have done something. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that they didn't, so it shows you again, like, you've had an opportunity to win a major trophy in your first year taking over the club, and you didn't even back your manager during the first window that you had. And then because they were cheeky and confident enough to think that Amrin would get it over the line. They actually believed in the person that they brought in. And again, Saeed, history is going to tell us that Amrin should have got sacked after that game. There's no way flipping.
They've got it wrong with the manager, but not like I said to you. Every club gets it wrong with managers, isn't it? There's not one single club. No, hold on a minute. Let's be truthful though. There are big clubs that have got it wrong with managers, and we can say it's been a bad choice, been a bad moment. It's how you rectify it though, and that's where the proof will be in the pudding now as to what United do now. So I agree with you. They made an appointment and it's been wrong, but this is the time now where they have time to almost like kind of get rid of Amrin. And that part I agree with.
But the fact that they've got a guy who openly comes out on television talking about sometimes I want to quit, sometimes I want to stay, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. What type of nonsense is this, bro? And you keep someone like that in position. Again, Saeed, I'm telling you, if we finish outside the top 6 this season, Saeed, this is form. This is no longer a blip. 3 years in a row outside the top 6. And then depending on the next decision and move that we make, that could be 4 years outside the top. Oh my Lord.
This is why this is a crucial season for INEOS as to what they do. If they carry on with Amrin and they still believe in him, and we still, let's say for example, things don't improve, then all of a sudden this has been a catastrophe appointment from INEOS. But if they actually do it right now, early on, and they get rid of him, United could have a good end to the season. And then you can look at it thinking, you know what? They've learned their lessons early and then they've sacked him. Should they have done it beforehand? Absolutely. But I look at it, right? And this is the thing where you got to look with INEOS, right? This is where maybe it doesn't add up to what they're doing. It's like they've got everything else in check, right? In terms of the outside, the house looks good. The grass outside looks good. You know what I mean? It looks perfect. You got a nice car outside. But when you go inside here and you see who actually owns the house here, you're thinking to yourself, what's going on here? And that's where I find it a little bit difficult with INEOS to kind of almost be like, yo, man, how can you build all of that here and then let man just destroy it, bro? You know what I mean? That's what I don't get.
Yeah, it's like, like you said, it's madness. Like they bought the Ferrari and they gave the keys to like a 15-year-old. That's what they've done. You're thinking, what's going on? Why are you giving it to this kid? What is he doing? And I just feel like every question we had about flipping Amrin and his coach and his backroom staff and the players and all of that stuff. Have you seen the same backroom staff? You saw the drills they were putting Onana through, like before the games, the type of madness, silly things that they're doing. And I just thought to myself, he's inexperienced. That's the first thing. Secondly, and I think Noradi spoke this about it again. You went from a manager who played a specific type of football and needed specific type of players. And then you want to build for Man United, but then you go and get another manager who needs specific players to play a specific system. The two don't go together. Are you building for the club and buying players for the club that a manager will be able to work
right with? Now, they're buying for the club, which is a good thing.
So then why have you got this manager who needs specifics?
But that's what I'm saying. It don't make sense in that part. But are United now a bit more sustainable in terms of now you don't see them making possibly, oh my God, Uganda have just missed an open net, by the way. I can't believe it.
What's the score? 2-1.
It's 2-0 to Uganda, but they missed an open net. But when I look at it now, though, do we believe we're gonna go back to that toxic era now of like the players we've been brought in? Has the evidence been shown though in the last 2 years of recruitment that maybe Man United now will be more sustainable, be a bit more in terms of now we know the idea of the recruitment now. Look at the Premier League proven kind of route now we've gone with. The players that we brought in now are miles better than what we brought in terms of the value now. You look at Mbumo, Cunha, Delict, Mazarawi. These are all good, very good signs. If we buy in a Baleba in January or the summer, you guys will be looking at this thinking, you know what, man? In terms of recruitment, United haven't had this level of, I'll say, the way that United have attacked the market in terms of being a club that have bought quality rather than quantity. We can look at it and think, you know what? Okay, cool. We haven't got the manager yet, but is the club in a better shape to win now? Is the club in a better shape to almost kind of get within the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, and these lot? Even though we are far away from it, but is there now the gap starting to close a little bit? People are starting to take us a bit more seriously. Before, let's be honest, bro, people weren't taking us seriously with Anthony and them, man. They weren't. But now with Mbumo, Cunha, people can see that, yo, United actually going for quality now. They're going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, no, you can shake your head all you want. I get what you mean, yeah. But you have to almost understand that United have took a different approach now. And right now, it is working a little bit.
The approach was so fantastic. It took me to places I've never been. It took me to dark alleys. It took me to 15. It took me to the near relegation battle. Listen, that's where it's taken. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful. It's so wonderful.
We're focusing on the position too much. I'm talking about the approach.
Position too much, Saeed. 38 games is where you finish. That's how you judge. How do you judge a football club? 38 games, because it's not a cup. You can lose a cup final. You can lose. You can get knocked out in a quarterfinal, semi-final. You can knocked out and getting penalties. You can call it unlucky. But people, 1.5k of you in here. I don't know why you.
Yeah, everyone hit the like button, man.
Right, we haven't even got 600 likes yet. Let's get to 800 likes.
Yo,
ASAP.
Come on.
By the time we finish, should be 1,000 likes at least. It's the least you could do. Absolute jokers.
I'm telling you, serving the sandwiches butter and acting like it's caviar. I've never had caviar.
Yo, tell it.
Caviar halal. I don't even know if it's halal or not, man.
Big up Brendan. Listen, at the end of the day, I look at it for me. Back in the day, that you made the point. You said certain football clubs have got it wrong with coaches. Yeah. Here's where I disagree with you, Saeed. There's a level of standard, and you talk about it, and we all know what that standard is. There's a level of benchmark.
Yeah,
I watched with my own eyes Ancelotti come into Chelsea, win the double. I think there's the year after he finished second and he got knocked out in the semis. Yeah. He got sacked. I see people like Barcelona sacking the coach of where would I don't know, is it Real Sociedad? Barcelona came and won the league, really difficult, loads of things going on behind the scenes, won the league, got the sack. I see Xavi come in, bring youngsters through. They're going through their whole kind of like leave FC Barcelona. They're stacking. They're not happy. I see Bayern Munich stacking coaches right, left, and center. I see Real Madrid do exactly the same. So it's who you want to judge Manchester United to. Manchester United are the biggest football club in the country, right? Biggest in the fan base, one of the biggest, only rivals Real Madrid and Barcelona globally, right?
Globally, yeah.
In the UK, it's only Liverpool who come close in terms of our fan base. And if Liverpool win another league, I think their fan base will get bigger and bigger. So, yeah, Valverde, big up to Klopp's downfall. So when I look at these, I look at Juventus after being in the doldrums for quite a while. They bring in Thiago Motta, who's the next upcoming guy. You ain't doing it. Feel it, mate. Sacked straight away. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, they see it as damage doing. So when you say other clubs that were not asked about standard, keep managers who failed. Clubs who have a certain standard, a level of standard, right? They do it. But I don't actually believe, so this argument might not be maybe for me, because Manchester United as a football club they're not a football club. We're Manchester United. We focus more on the PR and the propaganda. We're more of a commercial club. And Van Gaal will always say, Van Gaal told the truth. By the way, you need to share it in a minute, but on X, I can share it in a minute with you, so you can show it. Wayne Rooney working for the BBC now, he did a little anecdote about Van Gaal that's just hilarious.
Yeah.
The funny thing is this, that when I look at it, Manchester United still, the output is commerciality. That's why INEOS came in and sacked 500-600 people. That's why they're doing what they're doing. And they're trying to bring, and I know that the money for the stadium has to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's where the worry is for me, is that who we are now? Is this who we are? Before you talked about and said the wage structure. I like the fact that Manchester United were a big club and players wanted to come here to play because of the success, because of the fan base,
not because of the wages.
Not because of the wages. But Glazers made sure of that, and Glazers are still here. But is that money now being cut so that Manchester United, then the money will have to, because the money to build the stadium has to come from somewhere, right?
Yeah, but you do that to help you. That's a good thing, though, right?
You do that, but in terms of money, in terms of Manchester United paying out big wages, that means Manchester United won't be able to compete. And I've already told everybody. But there's proof in other teams that they're not paying big wages and they're still competing. So that argument is wrong. I understand that. But what I'm saying, I think what Musa said is right. If players deserve it by proving it on the football, you have to give the players the going rate. I agree. You have to pay. But Manchester United have been so toxic for the past 13 years since Fergie, right? And only Fergie's genius kept everything where it was. Even he was doing this when he was coming out with, I showed it. Say last week, I showed it the week before in the Man on here, where we showed the neglect of the midfield position. The neglect, even Fergie's time. In the last 15 years, Manchester United have neglected that position more than any other football club. So it can't be INEOS, or it can't be just Amorim. It's everybody who's been at this football club has looked at this football and they're not sorting out the midfield. And that is where football in this country, whether you like it or not, is won or lost. But when I think about what INEOS have done, I think they've incredibly lowered the standard. And I think it's so dangerous that fans have started to accept. Before fans, because fans were so sick with whatever you say, I hated, you know how my feelings about what the model was. The model on the Woodward was panic buy at the end and get players. You know what I mean? That we might even like the goals. But what INEOS are doing for me is really dangerous, because now the qualifications for the Champions League, which is basically what was the thing that we'll fight, the Super League? It's basically backdoor Super League, right? Yeah. The 100 million guaranteed has now made sure that Liverpool will be able to pay a bigger wages than Manchester United. Liverpool and Arsenal and City.
Because they're winning stuff.
Because they're up there. They're qualified for the Champions League because of that money. Do you think that Isaac is not going to be broken? Isaac transfer window will be broken again because teams who are regularly finishing in the Champions League will have that hundreds of millions. And let me just give that money should have gone towards helping us out. The money that they spent to rehire Ten Hag, the money that they spent to hire in Amorim, the money that they spent to get rid of Dan Ashworth, all of that, and Ten Hag's coaches, all that money could come up to nearly 40 million. So they have cost the club 40 million due to their own errors. And then they have cost the club another 100 million because of their way of writing of a season and focusing on Europa League. It's ridiculous what they've done. The case is out there, people. You don't have to take a word for it. You know my agenda. I think he's enabled. And I think this could set us back, like Musa said. This could be what Manchester United are. But in terms of football structure, yes, Manchester United have moved on to the 21st century. Manchester United are now a football structure that actually people should be changed. The CEO's not doing good. You think it's not just somebody not doing good. It's not just Anthony not doing good. Because if it can't just be the players who get dashed out after the not success. It has to be the director of football and the CEO. If you're not doing your job, you should be able to be sacked as well. This is the mentality. If they want to go with that, I have to see it to believe it. A lot of the things what you're saying, Saeed, is are they now? I'm sorry. Are they now? Listen, if my Saeed, if my auntie was my uncle and the rest,
I'm just saying though, like it's like, are we ever gonna be objective? The problem is though now, chat. Yeah, are we ever going to be objective about what INEOS do because of the fact that
if they win, Saeed, if they go out and get Ruben Amorim, who they want, and Ruben Amorim comes and sets up the team, they're playing football, they're moving up the table, they're going into winning positions to actually pick up trophies and win something. Ruben Amorim actually picks up the league in his first season. Man United are in the Champions League. You saw the group that Spurs has got, one of the most piss-easy groups. I can't believe we're in the saying without 100 million to spend. If Amorim does all of these things, we sit back and we start saying, okay, INEOS are doing what they said that they're doing. We're in the Champions League. We're playing football that we deserve to be there. The manager's doing well. They're bringing in the signings. Then we can have that conversation. I look at the 4 signings that we bought in this window, and as good as they are, has any one of them ever won a major trophy?
Bro, but
let me just say, my thing is this: does any single one, and that doesn't make you bad, but it just tells you, does any single one of them know what it takes to get it over the line? Can they come to this team and say, I want to add a level of experience like we got from the Casemiro?
You produce winners.
No, so we don't, though. But that's the problem. We don't produce winners. And this is my problem. So you've got a group of players who I can admit they're good, they're talented players. They've come to another group of players who have just had the club's worst Premier League's finished season in their history. And then you've got, and this is what's going to happen. If United finish outside the top 6, all you're going to hear is, well, they signed Mbumo, who was a player that played well, but he had never finished in the top 8. They're just going to say he was his best finish in the league was like top 9. So as good as he was, he couldn't get his team to finish anywhere up in the European spaces. You're going to get the same conversation said about Cunha. As good as Cunha is, he's never won a major trophy, and he wasn't able to get his team from stop fighting relegation season after season. Then you're going to be told that Sesko was at Leipzig. That was a team that was coming up, and they haven't won any major trophies. And then you're going to get a goalkeeper who everyone's going to say he was in this type of league over there and no one knows anything about it. Then you're going to look...
We're never going to be happy then. We're never going to be happy.
No, I'm going to talk about it. I'm just saying, because those type of players come in, like Man City have signed 1 or 2 players who have never won major trophies, but they're surrounded by others who have. What I'm saying is, who at Man United now...
Samiro, Mazarawi, these guys have all won stuff. This
is what I was about to say to you. So now, and look at this though, side. Now you've got the little Mazarawi, who there, and this is what I was going to get onto. Then you've got a group of players who are going to be here, hopefully for the long term, who their best finishes in the league is going to be 8th, 15th, from whatever we do this year.
I agree with that,
never going to know. Yeah, so that group of players that we just
took players out though. This is what I'm saying. We've took players out who've been part of the worst era of Man United, the likes of Rashford, the likes of Hoyle, the likes of Garnacho,
who finished 3rd, 2nd, and won trophies. Yeah, who finished. Listen, Saeed, we took players out, but we took players out. I agree with you, but we took players out who had been in a top 4 race, who had finished 3rd and 2nd in the season, and have won trophies in England.
Like
who? Like Rashford, like you said, Martial.
Yeah, but Rashford's been. Listen, without no disrespect here, but Rashford has been part of also a failing Man United where he himself has been inconsistent.
But what's the worst finish? The worst finish Marcus Rashford has had at Man United was the 8th season that we finished 8th.
What do you mean? Yeah, 8th. Yeah.
He wasn't here for the 15th.
But he's also been individually though. If we look at individually though, he has also had.
He's also been in for. Listen, Saeed, Marcus Rashford. Like we said, this is an 11 aside. Marcus Rashford has bad seasons and he's had good seasons. Marcus Rashford has helped us win trophies and he's helped us also get to good finishes. Marcus Rashford was part of a front three that was outscoring Liverpool and City's front three. Marcus Rashford was also the same guy who gone missing for 20 games and we didn't know what was going on with him. But he should never be carrying the club on his own. All I'm saying is, when you're building this new team and you're bringing in look, Casemiro's going to go, Bruno's going to go, yeah, then who are we going to be left with who's actually got experience?
No, but that's what I'm saying. United don't need experience at this moment. They need to buy quality, bro. Listen, you think this Arsenal team, when they were
not enough.
Hold on a minute. Did this Arsenal team that we all gas up here, did they have experience when they started up? Let's be honest, Saliba, Gabriel. Where did they come from? But the quality, though. United need to bring quality.
I'm not against that. I'm not against that quality.
Some of them were coached. Some of them were coached.
That's the word. That's what I was about to say, Saeed. And this is what Noridin's saying, Saeed. My thing is, the only substitute for this experience and quality is a manager with it. that can do something with it, that can push them.
Chelsea's got the youngest squad, yeah, that we know. They're Club World Cup champions. What's experience got them? It's quality. And that's where
you're experienced players played in that team.
No, but it's true though. Have Chelsea got experience in that squad when you look at it? Really and truly, it's a young squad that's actually good. So it's not about a case of, do we bring in experienced players?
Listen, Cole Palmer's time at Man City. Cole Palmer's winning mentality came from his time at City.
I get that.
He was at the club at the most richest time of its, that it's ever had. He watched and saw what it took to win. So when he comes he brings that with him. When we look at it, even you can laugh as Sancho was in a...
We've got leaders, though. We've got De Ligt, Mazarawi. These guys are leaders, bro. And Mbumo, Cunha, they're leaders.
You need leaders.
How many more leaders do you want?
Amarim does not see De Ligt as a leader. As a
hold on. It's not about what Amarim thinks. It's about what we think as a fan base.
Amarim's the problem.
Forget Amarim. He's not going to be here for that long, man. Forget Amarim. Let's talk about what we believe. No, but it's true, though.
But listen, Saeed, INEOS, as far as INEOS is concerned, Amrin's the guy. That's the problem.
No, but that's
Amrin's the guy.
The guy for now. The guy for now,
no,
bro.
But I haven't seen anything different, Saeed.
I'm hearing rumors that they're going to offer him a new contract. Saeed, the guy that's been here for 8 months, who's quit three times,
yeah,
and they're now giving him a new contract.
Wait, hold on. Where's this? What source?
That's the rumors, Saeed. That's the rumors.
That's a rumor, bro. That's a rumor, man. Rumors everywhere, man. There ain't no rumor. He's got 1.5 years left on his contract.
Saeed, by the end of this summer, they're gonna have to offer him a contract.
They're not gonna give him a new contract if he doesn't get United to Champions League football. They're not gonna give him a new contract. No chance. He has to get to Champions League football. For him to get a new contract, he has to get to Champions League football. That's the only way that this football club can offer a new contract. And even that, really, they shouldn't really give him a new contract. But that's the only way if United are going to do that. That's the only way. I said MSN. I said MSN, What's this MSN, bro? Come on, Zahid, man. Man said MSN as the source, bro. MSN, bro. Yo, bro, I know the only MSN that I know was back in the day, bro. And maybe,
don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they come up with some talk about him and Bruno getting a contact. This whatever you call them, El Brigado tax, whatever they is. Don't be surprised.
This is the source. Come on, man. Listen, I don't know what this brother is. I don't know who they are, but I'm not trusting MSN as my source, bro. I said AOL source. Listen, I think the manager, like I said to you, man, I think the manager's clouded a lot of our judgment about what's gone on in the last 2 years of the football club. I really do. I understand it's a big, big part of why this football club is failing, but I also think we should also look at the positives and what's been done in terms of the rebuild. That's why I believe you've got to be a bit more objective, guys, man. I get it, the manager's here, and I can't stand this manager. He needs to be sat here. But I think I can also realize, recruitment-wise, the players that are leaving the football club, there is an improvement. There is a development in terms of what was done now from before. And therefore, you should be able to kind of almost separate the two. I think we should do. I think we as a fan base should separate the two between, even though they kind of almost connect because they're on the football pitch, at the same time, we should separate the two in terms of recruitment and the manager, bro. And that's the way
you know why players become important,
You can never separate.
But you cannot separate the two.
It's the same people who are in charge of it.
The reason why you can separate the two, hold on a minute, let me have a point. Because they're not buying for the manager. That's why we can separate the two. When the manager leaves here, it's not as if another manager could come in and say,
look at the two managers.
Let me have a point. The reason why we can separate the two is because Mbumo and Cunha can play under several managers. Probably any manager that steps through the door can't look at Mbumo and Cunha, De Ligt, Lenny Yoro and say, that's a team for Amrin. They can't. They can look at it and think, that is very good recruitment. And we are now leaving a team that is capable or more than capable for a manager to come in and say, this is a group of players I can work with. This is a group of players that should be doing better, but not what they're showing. So therefore, United are building a foundation where the new manager comes in, right? He has no excuses. And we can't look at his squad thinking, oh, man, look what's been left behind. That's what's always been put on with Man United fans. Look at the squad that's been left behind. Nobody can say now, Manchester United are leaving a squad that is rubbish. And therefore, that's why you can separate the two between the manager and the recruitment done by INEOS. And therefore, give it the credit it deserves. That's it. That's all I'm saying to you, man.
Let me ask you, Musa, let me ask you a question, Musa. Musa, we got Bayern and then this young kid from the Belgian league.
That was brought under the previous regime.
No, let me finish.
Oh, not the Belgium kid yet, but the other one, no.
Yeah. Let me finish. Lenny Yoro in defense. The lit still.
Bro, come on, man. This is what I'm saying, guys, man. How can you not rate the lit, man?
Please,
what's he got to do more?
Saeed,
this is crazy, man.
Saeed, you have to let me finish.
How can you go like that with the lit, bro? But you then talk about Maguire.
I'll give you the courtesy not to interrupt.
It's crazy.
I'm not here to scream because I've been screaming at fascists yesterday, so I'm not here. I've lost my
man. After fascists.
I'm not here. I'm not here to scream. So I'll say this simply. Lenny Yoro, midfield, forget about it. Cunha, Mbermo,
Sesko.
We don't know about what Sesko is going to. He's somebody we have to wait for. Zerkski. Ahmad.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Kobe.
Sorry, and Kobe. That's it.
I'll name you the squad, right? Okay, cool.
No. I'm saying to you, that's the core of a team that I can see. The rest. So you
just named the good core of the team, though.
That's it. The rest of
them. So you should say the keeper, the defender, and the attacker. And I didn't
name any of the keeper.
You you can't say the keeper. Hold on a minute. This is what I'm saying about Nuruddin, man. You can't say, the keeper that you wanted at Manchester United Football Club, and all of a sudden we can't talk about that anymore. How does that work out? But then when it's Onana, hold on a minute. You can't do this, Nuruddin. I'm sorry, man. I have to call you out here. You can't be screaming and shouting, I didn't want Onana. Hold that. I told you so. But the keeper, that you wanted Manchester United to sign, we're not adding this into the new recruitment policy. Is that fair, though? Musa, am I lying, though? Can you do that, though? That's not fair, though, is it?
Yeah, really? I don't mind the keeper.
Okay, then add the keeper, then, Nuruddin. Add the keeper.
Because he's young.
Can I finish?
Yeah, go on.
Am I going to be allowed to finish? Yeah, please.
Sorry, I'll let you finish.
What I'm saying to you is that you're bringing, let's just say this now, if Manchester United had a stability, let's say Onana was here and Onana maybe was stable somehow, or Bayern the second keeper was stable, then I'd be more confident. But you're bringing in a kid to try to throw him into the worst performance of any start of any season. Bayern and Onana, who were both terrible last season, who are still here, and now Onana thinks, oh, damn, it's a World Cup. Yeah, I might need to play. Anyway, so for me, I said he's not even kicked the ball yet. And any signing is a risk. I watched that kid. I watched the highlights of him. I've read the articles about him. And I actually come on board on here and said, actually, this kid, from the articles that I read, from the things that I've seen, they're saying he could be the next best goalkeeper. And I'm not a massive stat merchant. I didn't look at the stats. I looked at the match reports and the scouting reports that people have done on him, right? I take into consideration that it is coming from the Belgium league. It's outside the top 5 leagues in Europe, right? So I take all of that into consideration, and I think maybe it could have been. But Onana was the guy that we spent 55 million. So don't you dare. I think we're paying 17 million up front for this kid. 17 million or something like that. So do not compare the two. Onana was supposed to be the guy that was ready. He was already Champions League finalist. And this kid has played 1 game in the Champions League. Now, do I believe in my heart of heart that he's better than Onana and Bayern? Yes. But have I seen anything in a Manchester United shirt for me?
Well, you're not going to know until you find out, do you? You're not going to know.
That's the point that I'm making. And the biggest thing is that it's actually the pressure is going to be on him is going to be even huge. Now, there are some people who say, you know what? Throw me the deep end, because people think that the worst goalkeeper we had was Massimo Taibbi. I was at that game at Anfield where Taibbi was man of the match. I was singing coming out there. There's only one Taibbi. I was singing as I walked, as we got to the coach to get police escorted out of Anfield, right? It was only his 3rd game when he made the howler when he let it in, Fergie was like, he's got to go. Right? So we have to understand that's what. So I'm just saying to you, from everybody that we've seen, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody that I have seen in a Manchester United shirt is Lenny Yoro, Kobe Mainu, Zerski, Kunya Imbermo, Mazraoui. That is the only people that I can 100% hand on my heart say, you know what, that actually can be.
Xerxes as well.
Xerxes, yeah, I said Xerxes.
Yeah.
So Xerxes. So I said Xerxes. And Sefco, he's showing a couple of nice, decent touches. But playing striker for Ahmad, playing Manchester United is a graveyard shit.
Okay, let me land my point then.
Dogu's still a big question mark. He's a young player as well.
Listen, I'm adding Dogu. So okay, I'll tell you this, right? Lemons, right? 1. Yeah, Mazraoui, De Ligt. I think for me, Lisandro Martinez still got an important part in this Man United team, right? Yeah. Dogu, that's 5. Lenny Yoro, that's 6. Heaven, 7. Diego Leon for the future, so I'm not gonna add him. Mainu, 8. Mateus Cunha, 9. Joshua Xerxes, 10. Amad Diallo, 11. Brian Mbumo, 12. And Benjamin Sesko, 13. I'm adding all of them, right, to the team what I believe in, right, that the Manchester United manager that comes in can be like, you know what? There are a group of players there that I see that, you know what, I can work with, and there is quality. And obviously, you could argue that other players in there that might do a job for another manager had we played another system. I'm not saying Ugarte is an amazing player, but if you put him in the right kind of formation and right system, could a better manager get the best out of him? So there are question marks in that aspect. Have we utilized Ugarte? I'm not saying that he's going to be amazing, but there are question marks in that regard. So I've just named you and pretty much a whole squad there. Yeah, there are barring Maguire and a couple others in there. Casemiro will leave next season. Bruno Fernandes will probably leave next season. Dallo isn't good enough. You know what I mean? Luke Shaw needs to be gone. You know what I'm saying? Mason Mount isn't good enough. You say that there are players in there, but I look at the core of the team and there is still quality that Man United can bring in. Add to a Belebo, which Man United are increasingly confident in getting next season, and that's their number 1 paramount for maybe January and maybe the summer. You add another couple of players in there, brother, I don't get it.
So sorry, my thing is this: if we've got this good team, this solid team, how long does this INEOS that you believe in keep this manager?
I don't say I believe it. I'm just not holding them. Don't put words in my mouth here. I don't believe it. There are shortcomings in what they're doing. I'm just trying to give the balance to the argument. I'm saying
how long? Okay, how long? Because okay, cool. With the team that you've just named, should this team be finishing outside the top 6?
No, I've just mentioned this. I'm predicting this year top 5.
So that's what I'm saying. So how long do we give this new regime INEOS?
This season will be there though. This season will be 3 years of INEOS, right? Of finishing 8th, finishing 15th, and if they finish below, I think for me that where I would be majorly angry, I would be 6. They can't finish lower than 6. If Man United finish lower than 6 here, it's a catastrophe. But if they finish, they have to get top 5. But if they finish below than 6, it's a catastrophe. If then we look at the end of the season, they haven't sacked Amarin. We are still bad and we're still not showing improvement. We can then look at it and think, yo, man, what's going on here? And we can then say, right.
The problem we have here, Saeed, is look, the managers that everyone wants, whether it's the Bournemouth manager or the Crystal Palace manager, who did Bournemouth bring in this season and who did Crystal Palace bring in? What players did they add to their roster of players to talk about what they should or shouldn't be doing in terms of how they're performing on the pitch? Yeah. The sign of a good manager is always how he's going to put together a team that he's given that's not his. The fact that we haven't seen that from Amarin tells me I can't get excited about what we do have, because we have a good group of players. I'm not saying they're bad signings or they're crap or anything like that, but that's the irrelevant side, because I can't remember a window where Man United didn't go in with money and buy players, whether the manager wanted it or the people in charge wanted it. But we've always spent about 200 million in the window, and we haven't actually sold well. But when you look at this transfer window, our net spend is very low. I don't know why we haven't got a midfielder, and that's again on INEOS, because our net spend is what, 80 million or 70 million, something silly like that. So if our net spend is 70 million, in windows that flipping people out there spending 250, Arsenal bringing in 8 players, Liverpool spending 400 million, and we need a midfielder. Forget what we're saying as a fan base. The manager himself that you've brought in that wants to play a certain type of football has told you, I cannot do it with the midfielders that I've got. I need another midfielder in there. And INEOS have not gone out there and put that midfielder. Is a massive red flag, Saeed. Massive, because our net spend ain't even that big. So where's the money, guy?
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I think that was
I think they've only spent 130 million. I think it was 120 million.
Yeah, we sold a lot. Yeah,
90 million. 85 million they made.
85, but remember the Cunha is from last season. It's not on this one. So how much have we really spent?
No, but yeah, the Cunha was on last season, but at the same time, like I said to you, they got a brand new attack, right? Okay, cool. That was one of the things.
But where's the money side? Why haven't we got a net spend of 200 million and got a midfielder in there?
Maybe there's a plan for in January. I don't know. Maybe there's a plan to bring
January when we're outside the top 4 race. We can't catch them.
You got to remember. Yeah, I don't think they were. Listen, I would have wanted them to do everything in one summer, but they clearly haven't. And maybe their plan was.
But where in the world of listen?
You got to remember, yeah, they were actively involved in Belebo. It was only because.
No, but Saeed, where in the world of football? Where in the world of football is Sesko more important to this team than flipping Belebo? Where? In what decision making? This is INEOS. In what world of football?
The decision of Bruno Fernandes not selling him is far greater than the need of bringing in midfield.
Don't forget that though, Saeed. No, listen. If we would have got rid of, Saeed, if we would have got rid of Højlund as we did, and we knew we had Zertsky up front, and we knew that it was going to be Cunha and Mbeumo supporting him in a supporting role for this season, and we had bought in Beleba with the Sesko money, nobody would be complaining.
Yeah. But you got to remember that if the manager wants to keep Bruno, what like there's much more you can do about that, man. Like
but you said 1 minute, side. You said that they're recruiting for the club. It's no longer what the manager wants. So the manager
can't pick and choose. Can't pick and choose. My auntie's not my uncle. My auntie's not my uncle. My auntie's not my uncle.
You got to remember there's a lot of obrigado tax here involved in this year. A lot of it comes down to the fact that Bruno Fernandes was probably, and this is one thing that they should never have let the manager decide on this, is that Bruno Fernandes was a key part of whether United bought a midfielder or not. It was because
are they letting the manager decide or not? Is he deciding or is he not? Sorry? Is the manager deciding on players or he's not deciding?
You got to remember, yeah. As soon as they said you're staying at the football club, you got to remember they have to back the manager in accordance to what they want to bring.
No, they don't.
They do. You got to remember, if they're keeping him in a job, yeah, Omar Barada, for himself, has a duty to say, right, I'm not going to sell this player if it's against your wishes. They're not going to do that. They should do that.
They chose Sesko over. They chose Sesko over.
They didn't.
The manager wanted my man that went to Arsenal and Watkins. He didn't want Sesko. They chose Sesko. Amarin wanted Watkins.
Yeah, Amarin wanted Watkins. They went against him because they
said they went against him. So I'm saying, how can you go against Amarin on every other important point? But when it comes to the midfield, the most important
as well. The fan base were writing letters, bro. They were writing bare bullshit, and that's again another thing where we as a fan base also in kind of almost blame as well. Like
you have to see that's a red flag. You have to understand, Saeed. That's a red flag.
It's a red flag. The fact that they kept Bruno Fernandes was a massive red flag. I was going mad, bro. I was going sick. And I said, that's going to be the beginning of the downfall for the manager. But the manager kept him, so he has to live and die by that sword. So they said, you know what? We're going to give you Bruno Fernandes, but that means we might not buy you a midfielder. He chose that decision, and hence why we didn't buy a midfielder. That's one of the reasons. Let's be honest. If you don't want to admit that, that's on you. And the Dane said, yo, listen, we can't do everything. Bruno Fernandes, 100 million here. What do we do? Etc. etc. He said, I want to keep him. So it's his decision. So he's got to live die by that sword. I'm sorry. He's got to live by the sword.
Let me just come in 1 second, right? If we're going to tell the story, we need to tell the whole story. Bruno Fernandes took 3 weeks to decide.
Yes.
It's nothing. People, I got you in the chat. Don't worry, I got you.
So you're telling me the manager was not involved in this thing?
Nothing gets past me. Bruno Fernandes decided he was going to stay. And he specifically came out and said,
yeah,
the club didn't want to sell me. The club said they don't need the money. Musa, I heard those. After 3 weeks, after we getting photo after photo in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, of his agent going from one hotel in his sandals to another hotel. I even zoomed in on the sandals, Musa. That's how much I was tracking it. I was zooming in on the sandals as my guy is going from one hotel to the other. So this idea, if INEOS they're so in control and they got the bomb squad and they're doing all this, why are they letting a guy, our captain, the captain of the football club, dictate and decide if he stays or leaves when they know that actually he is damaged goods, like majority of this team, and that he is part of this concussed? And knowing the history of Bruno Fernandes, remember, Musa, Sporting Lisbon would always, they were always the maid of honor, never the bride.
Look at that. What
he left. Yeah. They started winning. They started to rebuild. They rebuilt. Remember, when Bruno was there, their fans went to the training ground to smash it all up. People forget this. I know about these things. I remember watching the news reports about that.
So what are you trying to say here? I don't get your point. What's your point?
So the point I wanted to make is that we actually know historical where Bruno has been the key figure, the club captain and all of this. It gets toxic because the club are not winning. Fans break into the training ground, smash up the club. Bruno gets sold. They start to win better. And Bruno Fernandes decided on his own terms. So don't give me any of this INEOS.
No, but the thing is, you're not understanding that. The manager has also pleaded with the football club to keep the manager. He said it himself in one of the press conferences.
You said that they're ruthless, Saeed. They're kicking people out. They're selling people they don't need. They can
choose. I understand that. I know. No, hold on a minute. This is a club captain we're talking about here. This is a club.
Took 3 weeks.
You remember, this is a club
3
captain
weeks.
here.
3 weeks.
I understand the 3 weeks is an important factor, but you're not understanding what I'm trying to say here. The manager has also played a role in the club deciding, yo, I want to keep this guy. Therefore, then the club must have said to the manager, yo,
it's not just on the manager side. It's not. You know why I know it's not on the manager?
Because you've got a lot of players in still through the
door.
It's
not on the manager side because they've been ruthless.
It's partly on the manager as well. We can't just say, yo, listen.
Because the manager might have wanted to keep whoever he wanted to. You said that they've been ruthless enough to get rid of players they don't want. Ransom just made a comment there and said it. Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, and Mason Mount, collectively their wages are £1 million a week. £1 million a week.
Yeah.
On Casemiro, Bruno, and Mason Mount. Yeah, he wants flipping Mason Mount. We've seen that. And the guy gets injured after 2 games. He's wanted to keep Bruno Fernandes. And the guy is just, he's a problem for the side. Casemiro, like Noureddin said, is told them, up yours, I ain't going nowhere. I'm getting my money until my contract runs out. So where's this big and ruthless and scary flipping that can get people out?
I think we're kind of agreeing on the same point here. Man United should have got rid of Bruno Fernandes. That's a big L that they took, 100%. But we also can't allow the manager to get away with it and be like, yo, nothing's in on him.
Saeed, we've been going for 1 hour and 12 minutes, and you've been drowning. You've been getting waterboarded. You're drowning because you're agreeing with every point me and Musa make. You're drowning. You're drowning. You're drowning.
I've been able to separate my points very clearly.
Life jacket. Musa, take care of him. Give him the life jacket. Yes, you need a life jacket. You need a life jacket. Somebody throw the life jacket.
There are pluses and negatives about INEOS. But I've been able, for me, to set aside my differences, how I feel about them and start and look at them objectively. What have they done correctly? What have they not done correctly? But you already know. I'm in this mindset.
I swear, even if I was to look at them,
you're in this mindset that everything that they do is wrong. Nothing. And if you do,
with everything you've heard, you heard, what do you mark them out of 10? Why are you marking INEOS out of 10? Because I said 5.
I read about 6, 7. I reckon about 7 out of 10.
That's why I said you're concussed. I'm throwing the white towel in. Throw it in. He's concussed.
Hold on a minute. You got to remember. That's a fair. I think that's a fair. There are bad things that they've done. There are. Hold on a minute. You got to remember. I said between 6 and 7. So I'd say around 6, 6.5. That's where I'd go with him. But I'm not saying they are free from any wrongdoing. there are still mad things that INEOS have done. I'm not saying INEOS are free from any mistakes. I think there are so many glaring. I didn't want INEOS to begin with. But what you man are not doing is you're not understanding their actual good things that they've done for the football club and the bad things that separate.
See all of these players, Saeed. You know why I say this to you? You see the profiles that we got. You see Riola, like we talk about, he's at Bournemouth. Yeah. You know that with what we had, he walks in and he identifies that Kobe Mainoo is in a similar profile as Cunha and can play a left 10 very easily, and he can put him in there. He identifies very easily without spending any money that Amad Diallo can also play right 10, similar profile to Mbumo, and puts him in there. And that's just two different choices, which Armin didn't do. And that's already now you're already sitting on 150 million that you haven't spent. And you go, hold on, where's Walton? Hold on, where's Beleba? And he goes into a season with like a Kobe, Amad, and
Cunha. This summer, what you have given the kind of ratings of the summer window? If
now I'll be on a 6.5 because the midfielder was part and part. Remember, that was standard. Listen, Saeed, that was the bare minute. When we finished 15th last season and we lost the European final, you was there. You said we were getting bopped off the middle of the park. You said we need midfielders. Everybody was screaming for midfielders. The basic fundamentals and the basics that a new manager or the new ball needed to do was to buy midfielders. We ended up finishing this summer transfer window begging for one. Noureddin said we needed two. Everybody kept on saying we need two, and we were just begging for one. So the fact that they didn't even get in what we needed, that would have gave them a 6 an average window. How can it be a spectacular window?
Nobody said it's a spectacular window. We've changed our whole attack, right? We bought in a goalkeeper and we got rid of the players that we didn't want to. You've got to add all of it.
I'm just saying we changed the whole attack and we changed the whole attack. And we already had profiles that were similar to what we had. We didn't need to get 2 10s and we didn't need to get a striker.
Hold on a minute. We did need to get 2 10s.
We didn't.
We did.
Why?
We got rid of Garnacho. Hold on a minute. We got rid of Garnacho. We got rid of Rashford, who were playing in that system. We upgraded them to position with Mbumo and Cunha. They were the right things to do. We lacked goals.
No, Saeed.
Screaming that Man United lacked goals. Yes or no?
Let's name our 10.
The thing is, right, you said United were conceding goals last season, so therefore United didn't have an opportunity to score more goals last season. United said, right, we're going to bring in the 2 best attackers from last season statistically, who scored a combined goals of 35 goals last season. Manchester United needed more attackers. They did. I'm not saying we need to score this, but United definitely need to get Mbumo.
The profile of player that we had, I'm no one's disrespecting Mbumo or Cunha because they're good players. But the reality is this: we've got Amad, who's a 10. We've got Kobe, who can play in a 10. We've got Zertsky that can play in a 10. I like Mbumo.
Why can't Man United add more strength in their depth? Why can't Man United?
Look at that, Mbumo's not a 10 as well.
We're praising Chelsea for the absolute madness of quality of depth that they got. But Man United can't have depth. Why can't Man United have more quality?
So it's not about
Listen, I don't mind that, but when you vacate a massive hole in your team,
hey,
when you vacate a massive hole in your team, get the rank.
Bro, hold on a minute.
But you're unbalancing the team.
Man should do both. Don't say vacate. Man United should do both. Focus on that.
They vacated the midfield.
No, I'm saying but you're going on like Man United.
Listen,
other positions over one.
Listen. So let me just. Rance just said when Rude was here, we were screaming. Rance, you've not been speaking to me. I've been screaming for the past 16 years. Manchester United, 16, 17 years. Manchester United should have a stronger midfield. Saeed, when we were linked with Sancho, Saeed was like, "Why are we spending 70 million?" His words. We were doing the video here.
I get it.
We filmed it here, and you said, "Why are we buying a guy for 70 million? Why can't we use that money to fix the midfield?" How many years ago was that? That was nearly 3 years.
That was about 5 years ago.
I have always talked about the midfield, regardless who's in charge, because I always knew the weaker we are in midfield, the better. And I'm sorry to say, if you want to go,
are we weaker because of the system or because just in general?
No, because obviously
we're weaker in midfield.
No, I don't know. You have to separate the two. Are we weak because of the system?
No,
or are we weak in general? Let's be honest. Because we weren't saying this under the first year under 10 when we had the same group of players.
No, but you're missing the point, Saeed. Saeed, we're saying this. We're saying this. There's a few things that we're saying. There's a few things that we're saying. We're saying that when you set this midfield up in a different type of way, you can get more out of them. Does getting more out of them mean that we're not weak? It doesn't mean that. Both of them can be right.
Yes, we can. Palace, though, you just mentioned Crystal Palace before about they don't need players for their system to be good. So why can
because this is what I'm saying. The difference is this side. Crystal Palace, this the first thing is this. You can recognize as a manager the weak points in your team and set yourself up in a way where you don't open yourself up to the point where your weak points are the places where you're letting the other team attack you. We played Fulham and you saw what their manager Silva came out and said. He just released the whole flipping preview of.
Would you take their two midfielders over us?
Huh?
Their two midfielders, would you take them over Kobe and a Casemiro?
No, but we don't play that. We're talking about our system. I'm not talking about taking over their two midfielder. My thing is this side. We're lopsided. When we look at the players that we have that can play in the 10 compared to the players that we had that can play in the 2-6 roles for this manager, we were getting the wrong type of profile of player. If, in brackets, your idea is to support Ruben. This is what I don't get.
They're not supporting Ruben, though. They're supporting the club.
But then you said that they listened to Ruben to keep Bruno.
I've mentioned that mistake.
Checkmate. Let me bring my.
I don't acknowledge that though. They should have sold Bruno Fernandes. I was there making videos about it, man. We've gone past that. But the problem is, though, he is still using Bruno Fernandes in this position when he clearly knows that he's not the guy to play in that 6th role. So it's designed by the coach. INEOS are not telling him to vacate the midfield. INEOS are not telling him, yo, listen, make that midfield a weak area for Man United. They're not telling him to do that, bro. That comes down to coaching.
So let me just say this, yeah? When INEOS did their due diligence, when INEOS looked at Ten Hag, the guy that they
made a mistake. Oh, my brother made a mistake.
Let me finish. Please let me finish. Come on, calm down. Relax. Get some of the water. Relax yourself, because you're drowning right now. You're drowning. Listen, you're drowning, right?
Go on.
I'll say this.
Yeah.
INEOS knew this guy vacates the midfield. Because if you to believe everything, the argument that you made today, by the way, it's a brilliant show, by the way. Pick up to the people. You drowned. You know what I mean? Musa's give you a bit of a life, you know what I mean? The life jacket. You know what I mean? Through it. You know, you're just about holding on. You're doing what's the film called? The Titanic. It's you're just like the captain trying to stay with a band. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Try that. That's what you're doing. But let me just finish this. Manchester United understood when you do the Musa. If you run a company, you do the due diligence. First of all, you look at what you need. You then devise the role onto the needs of your organization.
Yeah.
You then interview people who have got the set of skills that can help you with your organization. When they did that, when they looked at him, knowing that he played in even Portuguese league, which is not the top 3 or 4 fucking leagues in Europe, it's not. It's a bit below. They should have known that he vacates the midfield. So I'm a guy who lives in Hume. I've got 2 coaching badges, and there's a video on my channel talking about, and I come on here and talked about it and said, Saeed, he also vacates the midfield. This guy, we're in trouble. I made that video. So me doing 2 days a bit of research, Saeed, of reading up and looking at articles and doing a scouting report on how Sporting Lisbon play under this coach. How come I know and how come INEOS don't know? I just don't get it. It's like the evidence is there, layered. Now, I don't actually blame me personally. I don't blame Amorim because he's an inexperienced guy. He didn't know what to come. That's why Bruno actually stitched him up and said after the Ipswich, he was like, I didn't know the teams at the bottom of the league are trying that. Not knowing that we're the team at the bottom of the effing league as well. That was a 6-pointer. And they were trying for the 6 point because we're the team at the bottom of the league as well because of his indecisions and the club's decisions. So for me, I don't want to make this about Amorim. I'm just trying to explain to you, Saeed, you now want to be a sea person, but you also want to be on the land. I'm sorry, Saeed. You can't be a sea person who's just a dolphin and then come on land. Saeed, let me finish. You can't then think I'm a dolphin, so I'm going to go for a nice little throw on the beach. No, Saeed. And in other words, you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't tell me 7 out of 10 INEOS.
Not 6 out of 10.
Listen, oh, Musa. He's coming down.
6 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
6.5. 6.5.
We're never. So the thing is, the whole moral of this, right, is that I wanted to have a discussion. Hold on a minute. The moral of this debate, hold on a minute, was can we have a fair discussion about INEOS? But what I now realized that Musa can be fair, and I feel like there's points where he's made. But with you, Nuruddin, yours is INEOS can do no right. INEOS are bad people. INEOS have not done anything great for this football club. And if there are things you want to give credit to, you will then look at it and say, you know what, well, hold on a minute. They had to get rid of that player. That's what I'm saying. I think for me right now, it's like we can't have a conversation now about United's rebuild, whether they're doing anything positive or not. We can't. Clearly, we can't, Nuruddin.
You know what I've done? You know what I've done? You know what I've done?
We can't because you have an agenda.
Let me finish, please. We can. Saeed, we've proven that we can. But every little positive point, every little thing that you try to grasp up, you know that rap that you try to climb on. I've clearly broken down. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I've clearly broken down. Man United's recruitment over the last 2 years has been good, but for some reason, though, Nuruddin, you're still looking at things and be like, oh, well, hold on a minute. United didn't really need this. United needed a midfielder. I've just mentioned to you the positives of the recruitment, but straight away you've got into United needed a midfielder straight away. I get it. I 100% get it. United needed a midfielder. And also, you have to look at the outside. Hold on a minute. No, but I get it. But United have also restructured a team where all of these players that we wanted out of the football club, hold on a minute, all these players that we wanted out of the football club are now leaving the football club. No, so therefore, you've got to look at the positives and the negatives. That's all it is. That's all it is. I'm sorry to say, this is where me fundamentally disagree. And by the way, your little narrative, the way that you are, like you're doing a straw man. You know what it is? We just talked to you. Me and Musa talked to you and took apart every point that you made for 1 hour and 26 minutes. And people, if you haven't got 800 likes, then shame on you lot. You're also like INEOS Glazer, bootlickers, honestly. I say it, we've just took down every argument. Some of the things that they've done, it's so fundamental, as Musa broke down in such a clarity, that it is almost like you're almost, if you got stopped, you're almost taking the knife out of your shoulder, sticking it in your ribs, and then taking it out of there, putting it in your thigh, and then taking it out of there, sticking it on your calf, and then taking it out of there, putting it in the heel. Like, I don't know what they kept Bruno. They didn't fix any of the midfield. The guy could have bought in 100 million. Manchester United would have had another 100 million plus to spend this summer. They hired Amorim, kept him in a job when he took this club to 15th, basically practically come on press conferences, wrote off the season, went to a final and stunk out the place against Spurs, and we'll never let that down. And now Spurs are moving like a club. They're moving, and apparently now Qatar or some of these other wealth.
No, they're not for sale. They're not for sale.
Yeah, Saeed, that's what they always say.
That's what I was about to say. United weren't for sale.
Well, I can say it's what they've just said, and now it's straight away.
No, but Saeed, but people always say that. At the end of the day, it's simple. The midfield has been, if you've ever talked to me about football at Manchester United, and that's why I was part of the Pogba Defence League, because I was like, bring other people to unlock Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's first 2 seasons, phenomenal.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying, bro. If it was so fundamental, why was it not done before then? This is what I'm trying to say. But if it wasn't done before, why can it not be given the
Okay. You know the reason why? Because we had bankers who were in charge, and Alex Ferguson was letting them use the money that they could have got to go and get players to do the down payments of the loan, and that's what it was covered up for. That's why when we sold World Club transfer record of 80 million to Real Madrid that season, we bought in Obertan, Michael Owen.
I agree. So, but it's still bad. It's still bad
because That's what the down payments were. He was covering up for the Glazers, and he came out with, there's no value in the market. At the end of the day, that is the reality. Saeed, I mean, you haven't made a point there. What's your point there? What's your point?
Nothing.
Let me finish. Nothing gets past me. I know everything what happened in the last 13 years. And I even knew it. And I was calling out and cussing Fergie for coming out. Musa,
I agree.
On my Facebook status, I walked back from the stadium after we beat Arsenal 8-2. And guess who I was talking about, Musa? After the 8-2, I wasn't getting gassed. You know why? I was thinking Lissandro Diarra, right? Midfield, the French brother. And I was thinking about Snyder, the Dutch guy. I was thinking, bring those two guys in midfield. And maybe with Carrick, we can still do something this season in terms of the Champions League. So
do you think that Man United were neglected under Glazers?
Manchester United have neglected that player, and INEOS continue to neglect it. And we don't just need one midfielder. We don't need one midfielder. We don't need one.
You hear what this guy's saying? Look at the word. He said they have chosen to neglect it. How have they chosen to neglect it? They have chosen to neglect it. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean, though, Musa? You can't give credit.
No, but there's two things though why we say they've neglected it. First one is this.
Saeed, honestly, you're drowning now.
Saeed, but you said to yourself, Saeed,
Musa just said to you, Kobe could have played number 10. Ahmad could have played number 10. And we were talking about the striker. It's like the obsession with the striker, Musa. The striker and the midfielder. I said the striker, Manchester United history has been, it's a graveyard. Because you know what, Musa? We can't sustain. Midfield helps you. Let me just explain it for the people that don't understand this. Midfield, if you've got good midfield, they help you sustain attacks. Keep the ball in the opposition box. They clean up, they tidy it up so that you can keep the attacks. And that's why the difference between us and the major teams, like a Guardiola team who won the treble the season before, actually they played better football than the season before that. But they kept winning the ball because they had a system with De Bruyne, with Silva, with the other guys to keep the ball, to hem teams in, to create chance after chance after chance for their strikers. That's why Sterling could score 20-something goals this season, average maybe 18, 17 goals a season, because he literally was making chance after chance. Liverpool, with under Jurgen Klopp, with the three midfielders, and with Bobby Firmino, creating chance and chance and chance. And
the definition of continue to neglect, hold on a minute. The definition of to continue to neglect would have keeping John Myrtle, Rich and Arnold. Did they continue to neglect, or did they bring in their own people? Yes or no?
Saeed.
No, but that's the question. That's the question. Because that's choosing to neglect. Because you're not changing the situation. Hold on a minute. You're not
me and you. If you want me to give credit,
yes or no?
If you want me to give credit to that, then that is laughable because me and you knew better than John Myrtle and Richard Arnold.
You can't say that though, Nuruddin. You can't say that we knew, but I don't know better than Jason Wilcox in terms of how his role is. I'm not a sporting director, Nuruddin. I'm sorry, man. We're not better than these guys.
You knew better than Murta. You knew better than Morta and a banker called Richard Arnold, who doesn't even fucking like football, who likes rugby union, A banker that
words you said,
rugby union. You're drowning right now.
You're not understanding.
That's a howler. And if I was in control of this, you know what I would do now? I would mute you. I would mute you. Honestly.
To neglect. I'm telling you, it's wrong. You chose the wrong words.
No, but he said they've neglected the midfield.
No, have they chosen to neglect? Yes or no?
Yeah, you know why I said they've chosen to neglect the midfield? Right. This is the reason for it. Man United went to the press and told them that we're not in for a midfielder this season. After all of that Beleba stuff, they said it's unlikely that we're going to go in for a midfielder this season. They also chose out of the 200 million that they had to spend, it was 2 10s, a striker and a goalkeeper, all in front of the midfield. They had 4 positions, none of them were midfielders. Out of the only midfielder they could have got real money for, Bruno Fernandes, in 100 million, they also chose to keep. For whatever reason, the club made that decision because they also, the fact that his agent was in Riyadh for 3 weeks, if the club told him, we do not want you, Bruno Fernandes, he wouldn't be here. they chose to keep him. Whether it was Amrin inspired or whatever, they chose to keep him. So you choose to keep Bruno, who you could have got 100 million for. You choose to make 4 signings all in front of the midfield. And then you go into a season, you say that, yeah, we're not really trying to add anything onto that. 2 days before the window closes, you're trying to get Conor Gallagher or whatever his name is.
Hold on.
1 minute, let me land. And if they would have got him, Kobe Mainoo would have been out of this club. So you're back. Listen, 100%. If they would have got that Gallagher, Kobe Mainoo would not be at Man United. He was pushing to leave at the last window. So we would have had a situation in where we've got this player in from Atletico on the season long because the manager wants him. We've kept Bruno Fernandes in the middle of the park because the manager wants him. We've got one of our young attacking, most decorated academy players going out on loan because he's disillusioned with the club and where we're going. And we're sitting there saying, oh, yeah, we're doing well.
No, but that wasn't the conversation. What the conversation was, right? But also, as well, by the way, the wrongdoings of the past year was to buy players that Man United didn't really need. So we wanted Beleba, right? I'm not going to lie to you. Anything after Beleba that isn't suited to what we do.
But we wanted him late.
Signing, though. We're going to class it as a panic signing, though. Do we need to do that? Or wait around and say, you know what? We'll come and revisit this in January.
No, Saeed.
I'd rather make that decision of, we're not buying some...
Saeed, out of Sesko, Cunha, and Bumo, and Beleba, if you would have had all those names on a piece of paper at the beginning, in what order would you have went and got them in?
Yeah, of course. The conversation would have been get a midfielder in as well. That would have been first.
No, but I'm saying what order? Because they had those names. We didn't have the privilege of... we didn't have the privilege of knowing what they had. No, they were... No, we didn't have the privilege. Saeed, if you go in, listen, if you saw what City and everyone else does, if the midfield was a priority decision, they would have went in for one right at the end of the season.
All of them, no. I think we needed a goalkeeper. We needed a striker. We needed 2 10s. When did they
start going in for a midfielder? Sorry, when did they start going in for a midfielder?
Obviously, they went after after Mbumo?
That's it. You can't start going in for a midfielder 2-3 weeks left of the window when you could have went in for one right at the end.
I would agree with you on that point. They left it a bit too late. You get me? And maybe didn't.
But that's neglect.
No, but the thing is, but my conversation wasn't about that. We've gone back to a previous conversation. My conversation was when Nuruddin said they've continued to neglect the football club, they've brought in from bankers. 2 bankers would have been continued to neglect. They've gone from bankers.
He said they've neglected the midfield. I didn't think he said the football club. I said
he's a football club though. But anyway, let me get the super chats in, man. There's a lot of super chats to get through, man. Guys, we need at least I think we need 1,000 likes, man. I don't know if we're on right now. We're on 633. Hit the like button, man. You know what I'm saying to you? It's a debate. If you agree with Nuruddin, Musa, if you agree with me, I don't know if there's many that very agree with me, even though I've tried to be fair in my balance. But listen, let me know who do you agree with. Killer says, big up all. Onana leaves us for Turkey. It's the end of the era. Era. Some stats. 150 goals in 102 games with 21 clean sheets. That's crazy. You see that there, Musa? Conceded 150 goals in 102 games with 21 clean sheets. Wow. That is madness. Andy Wallace says, we've got to be careful with Le Mans. There's no guarantee.
How shit our defense was there as well. We've got to be honest as well. And I'm not a Stingers fan, but
I don't know about that one. I can't lie. But yeah, we got to be careful with Le Mans. There's no guarantee he will be better than Onana, no matter how bad we think Onana was. Coming from Belgian League to the Premier League is a huge jump. He continues to say, I think we praised INEOS a bit too much. Todd Bowley and then man came in and did way more faster in INEOS movement. I'm happy with the players like Yoro, Delic, Cunha, and Boomer, but we need quality like Caicedo and Palmer. Big up Picky Park Shorts. Big up Abdulaziz says, big up everyone. INEOS and Sir Jim made fans accept mediocrity. The strategy is inept. Amrin should have been sacked after the opening final, and Bruno sold this summer. Top 5 and Champions League is a must. Just Waffle says, if you remember, Fergie threw De Gea in the deep end and he struggled for a while. We might as well try it with Le Mans. Big up to Fowler says, so you guys are telling me that Amrin's first full season he gets Champions League football. That is a failure. You want him gone. Hypocrisy. Brother, listen. Listen, he had more than a full season, bro. He had literally, what was it, 10 games in last season? So he had a lot of games,
Listen,
man.
yeah, he played 27 games or something out of 38. What's this guy talking about?
Yeah. Fuller, big up to you, bro. But he's had a lot of time, bro. And he's spent a lot of money as well. We spent a lot of money as a football club. Big up to anyone says we're talking about midfielders. Amrin's system needs wing backs, and they only brought Dog, who shouldn't be starting for us. INEOS aren't doing it great as some people are making it out.
I also said that with you, Adewale. I also said Manchester United need to sign wingers who can play wing back. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I heard you on that one, to be fair. I blame Amarin and INEOS. Both are responsible for Bruno staying. Amarin is obsessed and INEOS didn't care. Didn't sell because some brain dead fans and Amarin wanted to stay. Amarin, INEOS, and Bruno out. Big up to unemployed pundits. Big up the panel. Hi, listen. We are definitely unemployed. You know what I mean? And unqualified. You feel me? In that regard. Big up to you. Nick says, if there was no Saudi bid, would you have transferred of Bruno ever been brought up? Probably not. I don't think any clubs in Europe wanted him. They keep saying Bayern Munich wanted him, but Bayern Munich have been haggling over Nicholas Jackson, bro, whether they want to pay money for that one, man. I don't know if they ever had the bid for him, but yeah, it never would have been brought up 100%. And that's also scary as well, because that means he would have definitely stayed.
But Bruno came out of his own mouth and said that they've turned down loads of clubs in the last 2 years.
But have they though? I don't think so, man.
Well, that's what they said.
Boy, them man are lying, bro. I don't think Bayern Munich ever have come in and said, yo, we want to buy him.
Even last year, not just the year. Remember, Bruno's leaving wasn't just this year gone. It was the year before that as well. Teams want Bruno, Saeed, and they would pay for him. They might not give us the spectacular 100 million, but somebody would have offered us some money for him.
I don't know. Maybe. But like I said, man, this was a question mark conversation, by the way. It wasn't a they deserve credit. It was, does INEOS deserve credit for the Man United rebuild? So it was a conversation. It wasn't me telling Nuruddin and Musa to give credit and make sure you do that. It was a conversation more than anything.
I think they missed an opportunity, like I said, Said. I think had they got a midfielder in, there would be more of an argument on your behalf. The fact that they haven't, I feel like there's nothing to argue about.
Yeah. And Fowler said the priority was to strengthen the attack. We needed goals. I agree, midfielders, but the same attackers finished 15th. They couldn't be trusted. There you go. I agree. Musa, Abdelaziz said I've missed the super chat. I think he said here, big up Musa. Speaking of drowning, yesterday's quote from Musa, I don't think Anana is crap. I just think he's a bad goalkeeper. Uncle is concussed. Anana did. That's what I'm saying.
I actually, you know what? Surprisingly, I agree with Musa.
Yeah.
I don't think it is bad, but I think it's the club. I think Manchester United, players who are bad, who are not the standard. Let me finish.
Onana's just crap, bro, man. Relax, man.
He's not crap, Saeed. He's not crap.
God, man.
Let me just finish, please. Players who are not at the standard to begin with, even drown at Manchester United. So he was never the standard. When people Saeed were getting gassed about, oh, look at the way he plays. And I kept saying, you're seeing him in an Inter Milan shirt, playing in a specific way, under a specific coach, on a specific way that he's being coached. Not the way bringing him.
You know his level, Nuruddin. If Onana was at Brighton, we wouldn't hear a word. We wouldn't.
Oh my!
If he was at Brighton, we wouldn't hear a word. And that's the reality.
He might be right.
We wouldn't, because that Brighton goalkeeper has let in much more goals than Onana and done some mad stuff. But we don't hear nothing from them because he does what they want him to do.
The amount of mistakes he's making is not severe as Onana's doing. That's why. That's why.
It doesn't matter. He's still letting 10 more goals than Onana, or 15 last season.
Saeed, might as well make the people laugh after you've drowned, since you've come out of the sea now, and share this thing that I've shared. This anecdote from
It
Wayne
says here.
Rooney.
I love that gal. He was so funny. We had lunch with all the players' wives, girlfriend, and stuff. He came up to Colleen and said, "Your children, they very much look like the father." She said, "Yeah." He replies and said, "Rooney has a very strong." Oh wow! And that was the time he met her. Wow, that's crazy. Is that a recent comment or
that was from the BBC? Yeah, Rooney's working for the BBC now.
Oh yeah, he's working for the BBC now. The podcast, isn't it? Yeah.
They're trying to groom him to be the new Gary Lineker.
Wow, man, that's crazy, man. Shout out to Picky Clark Sports for the donation. I don't know if you were meant to say something there, but large
Yeah,
up to you. I think he said something here. He goes, I don't know why he said it under the comment, but he said here, Onana plays like Cape Verde, my country on the World Cup qualifications. Hope he does what he does at Man United so we can go to the World Cup for the first time.
Yeah, Cape Verde, Cameroon. Cameroon are one of the big, strong link, by the way. They're one of the favorites for the African.
AFCON, yeah.
AFCON. And
We got a lot of man going to AFCON, you know. We got Bear Man going, you know. So we
should go. We need to get a check. Someone needs to sponsor. Someone needs to get us out there.
Yeah, man. Morocco, man. Listen, what's Figgy saying, man? We can definitely go, man. Morocco. You know what I mean?
Atmosphere in Morocco. But you need to speak to Aaron, so you need to bring Aaron.
Yeah. No, I'll chat to him, man. But listen, man, it's international break. You know what I'm saying? We're leading into Derby weekend. You get me? Football is around the corner. You know them ones there, man. And yeah, man.
Come on, Italy tonight. Come on, Italy.
Who are they playing? Oh, they're playing the
Zionists.
Yeah, the Zionists.
What was the score? What was the score of Somali Uganda? Where did we get to?
Somali Uganda finished 2-0, man. Finished 2-0, man.
Listen, you know what? We got clipped. We took our tail between our legs and ran off.
Yeah, man. I can't lie to you, man.
From the highlights I just saw, Musa, it could have been worse. It could have been 3-4.
Yeah, we had some chances though, man. But yeah, man, it's not looking good right now. I'll show you the table right now. Yeah, it's not looking good right now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think Uganda.
What's this World Cup qualifiers?
Yeah, here we go, man. Somalia bottom. You know what I mean? 8 games played. Algeria, I think, are through now. Yeah, promotion.
And we got them next. We got them next.
Yeah,
we
man.
want Uganda to go, man. We want Uganda to go. I can get nice food, man.
Yeah, big up Mozambique, South Africa, I believe.
Yeah,
Guinea,
let's see if we can go in there.
Botswana. We're playing Algeria next.
Pray for us, that's
Algeria, man. Yo, take it easy,
man. Like
man.
Mahrez is taking the piss, mate. We're getting.
Yeah,
nice,
man. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, shock the world. You could shock the world and win 1-0.
No United players in the English squad, man. What do you make of that? Is that something to be? Are you bothered about that? No United players.
A team that finished 15. Why would they pick? They don't pick from teams that finish 15.
So. No, but Kobe Mainu couldn't. Maybe. And
he's not played. He's not played.
Yeah.
We have Rashford there.
We normally have Bear Man in there. Remember back in the day, Wayne Rooney, Ashley Young. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's madness. It's madness. It tells you where
cleverly.
Yeah, it tells you where we are, though. It tells you where
we are on the INEOS.
Yeah. I think Arsenal got like 5 man. I think Arsenal got Bear Man in there.
Watch out! You know what? Remember I told you about that player. Remember me telling you about that player, Elliot Anderson.
Yeah, Elliot. Now he's cold. He's cold, man. He's cold.
He's a guy Manchester United should get as well in midfield.
Yeah.
Manchester United need to employ a coach that plays 4-3-3. And we need to go
and started in second injured. Wow, man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But like I said, man, to be fair, our team now, there's not many English players in the United team, is there? Only Luke Shaw, really.
Maguire,
Kobe, and that's it.
That's a bit of a weird one, you know. You know what I mean? United have better English players in the team, but now, not many, man.
Is Heaven qualified to play for England?
Yeah, he's played for England. Yeah. You would say, Shaw and Mason Mount. Yeah, to be fair, there are.
Mason Mount.
But if United pick their best 11, though, there wouldn't be any English players in the team. If United pick their best 11, they may not have been. So, yeah, man. It's crazy how times are changing, man. Yeah, I think Liverpool as well. Liverpool got the same as well. Not really many. Most of them are on the bench. But we'll see if it affects anything and whatnot. So, but yeah, man. Let's see, man. Let's see, people, man. But listen, people, we're going to wrap up here, man. It's Maghrib soon and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people. Hopefully 9 o'clock. Video should be out on 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9 o'clock then. Yeah, make sure you look out for it.
Real therapy, people. My 2 pence on Onana and the rest of INEOS.
Yeah. There you go. There you go, people, man. And then Musa reacts. He's got a video out today. Onana, the scapegoat.
Yeah, scapegoat. Because people don't want to have the conversation that Bruno Fernandes is more detrimental to this side than Onana is. But we don't want to have that conversation.
Bye. It ain't easy, man.
We don't want to have that
content, man. Like I said to you, I'm just doing 1 show a day. Tomorrow I've got a show with Tyrone, and also I've got a special guest, man, who's going to be on the show, not been around for at least 3-4 years on the channel. So he'll be back soon tomorrow. You know what I mean? And obviously the England game as well, we'll do as well. We'll cover that as well. I'm happy for you guys. I rock bottom, but I'm pissed at your club ruining Man Utd England career. Yeah, big up Tariq, man. It is what it is, man. But
big up Tariq,
man. But yeah, check out tomorrow's content. You get me? Big up to everyone.
I'm gonna do a show on Wednesday night. I'm gonna do a show going live with the panel on Wednesday night about.
There you go. There you go. INEOS Part 2. You know what I mean? Maybe there's some, you know what I mean? Maybe there's some people there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, big up to everyone.
Yeah, there's a guy called Bumbaye and a guy called Sean. They literally work for INEOS.
Wow, man. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. But listen, people, let us know who won the debate in the comments. Was it Nuruddin Musa?
You should have put the poll up, Saeed. You should have put the community poll up, mate.
Was it, you know what I mean? Did the handicap
Saeed, you were drowning, man. You were drowning. I'm telling you. I agree. All I could hear from you was, I agree. I agree.
I agree. I agree.
I agree.
That's like in the Fed station.
That's Miller when you need a man. Miller, shout to Miller.
Saeed got caught in the station for taking the sweets. It wasn't me, but we saw you. I agree. I agree. I agree.
We're out.